Welcome to some of the most hallowed turf in motorcycle racing. Welcome to the Netherlands. Welcome to the TT Circuit Assen, where the FIM Sidecar World Championship is about to begin its first of two races this weekend. It will be a 9-lap sprint. The SUPERSIDE sprint race will begin in just a few minutes' time. And as you can see, after opening the win book last time out, the Steinhausen Racing duo of Harrison Payne and Kevin Rousseau are on pole position, a 145.171, good enough to net them the pole position for this one across the combined qualifying 1 and 2. The team that took the win in the sprint race 2 weeks ago only at the Red Bull Ring, looking to continue that run of form. And then alongside them, one of the most experienced outfits there, Tim Reeves and Mark Wilkes, the 77 Bonovo Action entry is there on that front row, just about a tenth off the pace. Quite a close qualifying session at the sharp end of the grid. The top six covered by about 0.8 of a second, just under 0.8 of a second, as a matter of fact. You have to go to the second row to find the defending champions, Todd Ellis, Emmanuel Clement, on the number 6 there on row 2 of the grid. Interestingly, it's an all ARS chassised front row. Payne, Rousseau, Reeves and Wilkes. So Todd Ellis and Emmanuel Clement, the first of the LCR Yamahas. Again, as we've mentioned consistently this season, Yamaha motors forming the bulk of the grid, one of few exceptions being the Birchall Brothers LCR Honda. Fourth place on the grid, the Christies on the Hannafin machine. A 145.4, again, illustrating just how close it is. Less than 0.3 across the first two rows of the grid. And then I'm very happy to say that the next slot of the grid, 5th position, is occupied by the number 16 entry, which at one stage we weren't sure about. You may remember race 2 at the Red Bull Ring, a big upside down moment for Ben and Tom Birchall. Tom Birchall has a severe shoulder ligament injury that means he cannot compete, but Ben Birchall is here, and he is joined by a very experienced co-pilot passenger in the form of Callum Crowe. Callum Crowe is here to fill the boots of Tom Birchall, the highly experienced TT podium finisher in sidecars, looking to make a mark on his first visit to Assen. So the 45 and the 77 on the front row, Ellis and Clement and the Christies on row 2, Birchall and Crowe on row 3, Stroyer and Kulsch, Benny Stroyer, Kevin Kulsch alongside them, Kershaw and Charlwood on the 29 Quattro plant machine alongside the Peugeots, the current leaders, or current contenders, I should say, in the IDM Championship order. Pavarinter and De Haas, they might be a little bit disappointed with 9th on the grid after some of their successes in recent times. Gertlich and Neubert alongside them. For the first time this year, Biggs, or second time this year, I should say, Biggs and Sedges on the number 5 joining us. A few teams from Britain joining us further down the order. 2 World Sidecar debutantes, the Williams Pitt duo and the Laidlow family on the 84. The Laidlow family, of course, steeped in sidecar heritage. Great to see the combination of Samuel and Jack Laidlow on the 84 joining us for the first time. Cable and Richardson on the back row alongside the number 9 of Vinay and Pirat. A nice full grid of 600cc machines getting ready to take to the TT Circuit Assen. Already most of the way round on their formation lap. Of course, this is a much truncated circuit these days, the TT Circuit Assen. Certainly in my childhood, going back to the early 2000s here, they had about 1.5 miles extra circuit, but still a formidable venue for sidecar competition, still a venue that is steeped in history and heritage that comes out of every pore of that tarmac. Callum Crowe who usually competes with brother Ryan Crowe. They've shared a podium with the Birchells many times at the Isle of Man TT. It's really good to see that combination. Good to see Callum Crowe get an opportunity to passenger at Assen for the first time. Of course, we all wish Tom Birchall well, a speedy recovery. Thankfully for him, there are a couple of months between this weekend and the following round of the championship at Oschersleben, so we should see the Birchells back to full strength before too long. Well, a very, very quick formation lap means we are already approaching action. 9 laps of racing is about to begin here. Who will get the best launch off the line? Will it be the pole sitters, Payne and Rousseau? Immediately out of the gates, and that does look like a good start from the 45 crew, doesn't it? Yes, that is a very good start indeed. It's about even Stevens from the second row of the grid, but I think that the Christies, oh no, I was going to say the Christies with the inside line should take third place, but Todd Ellis, signature late braking strikes again. We have one not getting off the line, but at the front it's very, very close indeed there. Tim Reeves launching a campaign to the inside of Harry Payne there, couldn't quite get it done. Through the tight twisting first section of the circuit, they now open up the taps down the back straight past the back of the paddock. Great camera shot here from over the gantry, and you can see there that the Christies look to be under pressure from Birchall and Crowe. Ben Birchall just trying to sneak through, but couldn't do it there, not close enough to the back of the Christies. Sam and Tom Christie on the 34. As you can see, a few new faces, a few British interlopers from the British Series joining us for Assen. One of the most iconic motorcycle racing venues in the world, always attracts a few extras. Listen to them as they come past for the first time. Stunning 600cc soundtrack as Tim Reeves looks very menacing as they approach Ruskenhoek for the first time. Or rather, I should say Ramshoek for the first time, my apologies. The final chicane follows at the conclusion of this first lap, and it's certainly looking to be a three-way battle now. Through into third place, obviously off the line, Ellis and Clement. After maybe looking like they could drop to fourth place. Todd Ellis and Emmanuel Clement will once again be on a point-scoring mission here. They managed to really clamber back into the title fight. Last time it has been looking like a two-horse race for a little while in the championship order. But now with the Birchells on 153, Ellis and Clement on 148, just 5 points in it. Ellis and Clement's second consecutive FIM Sidecar World Championship now looks more likely than it did at the start of August. A podium today would certainly help that. However, a win today would be the optimal solution, of course. These 9 laps of this short circuit are going to fly by for Payne and Rousseau. Despite the short length of the race, the Steinhausen Racing outfit are going to have to endure a lot of pressure. Certainly, as long as Tim Reeves and Mark Wilkes are just behind them, that pressure isn't going anywhere. Reeves is a master of his racecraft. Has the World Championship trophies to prove it as well, and of course that also goes for Ellis and Clement in third place. Oh, and a bit of a snap there. Under deceleration for Tim Reeves. Carries a little bit more momentum, but it is difficult to set up for an overtaking move at that last chicane. Easier, of course, on standard bikes, but the wider sidecars, it's a very tricky task. If there's one pilot on this grid that can make that move, I'm going to put the house on it being Todd Ellis, because we've seen his late braking all season long. I don't think there's anyone in the paddock who is quite as brave on the brake lever as Todd Ellis. Payne and Rousseau, though, accelerate down the back straight once again. Wien slung. And towards the Ruskenhoek section, which has of course been slowed down with a little bit of a tighter right-hander there, as you can see. Not using the cut through. Looks like a good run there out of Steckenval there for Reeves and Wilkes. Can they get alongside? Yes, very nice move there. That was set up at the apex of Steckenval, just carried a lot more speed there towards De Bolt's corner. And Reeves and Wilkes through into the lead. Very nicely done. Now Payne and Rousseau are under intense pressure and scrutiny from Ellis and Clement. Can Todd Ellis find that late breaking move? His signature maneuver. All three of them converging together as they run through the final sector, through Ramshoek and the Geert Timmer box to the final chicane. The answer is not quite, and while these three continue to squabble, the Christies on the Hannafin machine are closing in. Birchall and Crowe are there in a safe fifth position. Of course, even though Ben Birchall is here, he is still walking rather wounded. Bad burns on his back. Sliding across the tarmac at the Red Bull Ring when the 16 outfit was rolled over. And so I think point scoring and finishes are the main objective here. Side by side, meanwhile, as Kershaw and Charlwood try and get through into sixth place, but Stroyer and Kulsch and the number 21 looking to keep hold of that position. Of course, Stroyer and Kulsch had a mixed season, I would suggest. They've been there and thereabouts in the mid-phase of the top 10 this year. They desperately won't be wanting to prove themselves against an outfit like Kershaw and Charlwood. Two very experienced hands. Payne and Rousseau still there in second place then. Oftentimes, when you lose the lead, you can lose second in quick succession. And well, I say that, there goes Todd Ellis, can't quite get it done. Ellis and Clement looking to try and get past the 45. It looks as if Reeves and Wilkes are just starting to find a length or two, a bike length or two, over the chasing pack. And for Todd Ellis and Emmanuel Clement, that means they need to get by now. Already heading to the end of lap 4 of this race, they cannot afford to wait behind in second place, but they also can't afford to lose third. Every point a consideration in this title battle. Which has really found some renewed vigour after the events of Red Bull Ring. Not just in the lead as well, but Kershaw and Charlwood and Harry Payne, Kevin Rousseau, a lot of riders in the mid-phase of the top 10 are very close in the championship. Payne and Rousseau and the Christies are now tied on 100 points in third position. So for Harry Payne and Kevin Rousseau, the fact that they are ahead of the Christies is critical for their hopes of potentially taking third in the championship. They've got a very good run on Reeves and Wilkes. Can't quite use it, though. I thought they may drag past before they even got to the apex, but it wasn't quite to be. Maybe slightly shorter gearing, allowing for greater acceleration, but not quite as much top end, potentially, because it certainly looked like they were surging by as they went under the gantry, but it wasn't to be. I mentioned Kershaw and Charlwood in amongst that third place battle. They're just 1 point off of the two outfits tied for third on 100. So it is very, very close behind the leading two outfits in this championship this year. We've got a really strong grid in the FIM Sidecar World Championship this season. Lots of championship winners, lots of extremely decorated riders and passengers at just about every level. Payne and Rousseau carrying a lot of speed. Have they got it done into the final chicane? Oh, if they didn't make contact, they came very close to it. Reeves and Wilkes just about hold on to that lead. But that is how you get the move done there. Carry that momentum through the penultimate corner. Ellis and Clement late on the brakes into turn 1. Can't quite get it done there. But Todd Ellis again showing his hand. And no sooner did Harry Payne lodge a bid for the lead than he's now got to worry about retaining second place again. And what was a 3-strong scrap was then a 4-strong scrap, I would say. We've now got 5 in the fight because, well, look at the 16 lurking behind the Christies. Birchall and Crow are right there in amongst this as well. Any one of these 5 crews could end up with the victory here. And any formation of them could be on the podium by the end of this. We've seen fireworks on final laps consistently over the last few months in the FIM Sidecar World Championship, and there's a crescendo in the air, isn't there? It's coming. Ellis and Clement, they are coming to the inside line. Looked like they may have met in the middle there, and they've got through into second place. But where is the number 45? Payne and Rousseau have disappeared there. We didn't see quite what happened, but they are still running there in 5th place. Just caught sight of the 45 in the back of shot. So thankfully still running, but I think scared off their apex there by Ellis and Clement. So from 2nd to 5th in a matter of moments there for Payne and Rousseau. Ellis and Clement up to 2nd place. Critical for them, but also going through into 3rd place. The Christies into 4th place. Birchall and Crow. Kershaw and Charlwood now right on the back of Payne and Rousseau as well. It's almost a 6-bike scrap for the lead at this stage. They begin lap 7 of the race. Birchall and Crow just biding their time at the moment. This is a wise performance. They're clearly showing that they've got race pace together. Didn't show out fully in qualifying, but look at that run. Side by side now, Christie's versus one of the Birchall brothers, along with Callum Crow. They're squeezed out of it, though. Sam and Tom Christie aren't going to make it that easy. Of course, Adam Christie also further back in the field on the number 70 in 12th position. Hannafin racing outfit at full strength once again. The 70 has been missing at least once this year, but great to see it out there. And obviously wonderful to see that the 16 is present. Certainly wasn't sure of that coming out of the Red Bull Ring, but thankfully the news from the Birchall camp extremely positive, and brilliant to see that Ben is here at the controls, albeit with Callum Crow in the passenger position. We expect Tom back for Oschersleben. Todd Ellis and Emmanuel Clement head on to the penultimate lap of the race, right on the rear wheel of Reeves and Wilkes. Todd Ellis has a little look to the inside line, but I don't think he was quite close enough there. The momentum not quite falling in his favour, but carrying a lot more speed there through the first turn. I thought they might even just shoot through at the little kink of turn 2, but not quite done. Clearly, though, Ellis and Clement have uncorked a little bit extra in the race. Strong, strong race pace, as always, from this duo. And look at the speed coming out of that corner. That's sensational. Straight into the lead of the race. That struck me more as a potentially maybe a missed gear or something for Reeves and Wilkes, because that level of acceleration difference is very notable, almost unheard of, but it's allowed Ellis and Clement into the lead. Can Tim Reeves mount a response? Is there an issue at all with maybe the shift or something like that? Because, again, that was a very slow exit from the Struben corner. And now Reeves and Wilkes have to worry about the Christies and the Birchall 16. Just behind them. At this point, it's about defending that second place. I think now that Ellis and Clement have gotten through, any chance of a victory may have gone with it. For Reeves and Wilkes, they're a little bit distant from that scrum for 3rd place in the championship. They'll be looking to get themselves back in there for the final 2 rounds of the season, or the final 2 locations of the season. Oschersleben and Estoril. Birchall and Crow very close behind the Christies, having a look to the inside line. Nicely done there by Ben Birchall, up to third position. Goes Birchall and Callum Crow. Will the Christies find a way to retaliate as they go? They are, of course, now on the final lap, and it's worth pointing out as well, I'm sure a slightly vengeful Steinhausen racing outfit are right there in 5th place, looking for a way to get through. Now they got their exit rather stalled there by the Christies, going out onto the back straight, and that could open up the door to Kershaw and Charlwood in the battle for 5th position. Don't think there's quite going to be a move made in that scrap. Can Ellis and Clement hold on, though, at the front? It's the final lap of the race. Half a lap to go, less than. Reeves and Wilkes are there in 2nd place. I don't think they're going to get close enough. Potentially Birchall and Crow have done enough to secure 3rd place here as well. Sam and Tom Christie, though, may yet face a little bit of pressure for 4th place from Payne and Rousseau, although Payne and Rousseau slow there a little bit through that right-hand apex. I think just towards the end of this race, the positions 1st, 2nd, 3rd and 4th have started to solidify, but I wouldn't put it past Kershaw and Charlwood to have a look for 5th in the final turn. However, for the 4th time this season, Todd Ellis and Emmanuel Clement head out of the final corner and will take a full haul of 25 points. Another race victory for the defending champions. Reeves and Wilkes match their best result of the season so far with P2. That is a huge blow in the championship. In fact, what that will do, at least provisionally, is shift Todd Ellis and Emmanuel Clement to the head of the championship. They will outscore Birchall, number 16, by 9 points. And that is a seismic shift in the championship. Ellis and Clement, for the first time this season, lead the championship. It's the first time this season that any machine other than the 16 can stake claim to the championship lead. That is a huge development here at the TT Circuit Assen. Ooh, wow, wow, wow. Very well-deserved win as well from Ellis and Clement. Wasn't easy. They had to come from the 2nd row of the grid. But they came, they saw, they've conquered at the TT Circuit Assen. Birchall and Crow, I would say that's a good outing for this new duo. 3rd position, nothing to sniff at all. Here are the results then. Ellis and Clement taking the win by just 0.4 of a second over Reeves and Wilkes. Birchall and Crow, 3rd position. Good result for Callum Crow on his debut at Assen. The Christies in 4th. Payne and Rousseau, after leading early on, down to 5th position. Kershaw and Charlwood in 6th. Stroyer and Kolsch in 7th position. Pekka Pavarinta and Ilse de Haas in 8th ahead of the Peugeots. Biggs and Segers on the number 5, taking a top 10 result there. That's good for them. Gertlich and Neubert in 11th place. Holden and Midegal rounding out the top dozen. 13th place for Archer and Christie on the sister Hannafin racing machine. Kimswenger and Sedlacek on the 11 in 14th. Cable and Richardson in 15th place. And the Vinet Pirat, the French duo, a lap down in 16th position. Great racing here at Assen. I believe we'll now go to some highlights from that race. Worth noting then, coming out of that highlight package, that the incident between Ellison Clement and the Steinhausen Racing 45 of Payne and Rousseau, what looked to be a minor collision there as the move for second place went on, it was investigated and no further action was the result. So the result for Ellison Clement should stand in spite of what looked to be a little bit of contact between the two parties. That's good news for them. Also good news further down in the order. 9th place overall, the Peugeots. That's another full haul of points in the German element of this race, the IDM Sidecar Championship order. The French outfit continuing to extend their lead in the IDM Sidecar Championship, which runs at least part of their calendar alongside the FIM SUPERSIDE, the Sidecar World Championship. As you can see, debriefs ongoing. Also want to take the opportunity to mention Max Zimmermann. Congratulations to Max Zimmermann. He's not here, but Zimmermann and his partner Sylvia welcomed a baby daughter recently. So Zimmermann and Ronja Mal not here this weekend, but we expect them back at Oschersleben. But massive congratulations to Max Zimmermann and his family on the new addition. A future sidecar passenger, if this paddock is anything to go by. Doesn't take long for them to don the leathers. Saw some emotional scenes with one of the Bonovo action machines there in Parc Fermé as well. I think a few quite happy with their results. I'm sure Ben Birchall will be delighted with his points haul, a podium finish. Very good comeback from the incident they suffered at the Red Bull Ring. And seemingly the minor injuries he is carrying not causing him too much drama in that race. And certainly Callum Crowe doing a formidable job as passenger. That's the Bonovo junior team there. And seemingly some very happy scenes for that outfit. The Bonovo juniors, one of several Bonovo action backed vehicles up and down the paddock. And in the case of the juniors, of course, it's a great way to get that first experience at a top level. Some incredible young talents up and down the order. In the case of Lennart Gertlich and Bonovo junior team, their average age at the start of the year just 19. Which is troubling and impressive in equal measure. Uwe Neubert is now the passenger, though. Neubert taking over from Lucas Craig, who was in the passenger seat at the start of the year. And Uwe Neubert is a much older combatant than the passenger he replaced, but still Lennart Gertlich, one of the most impressive young talents, I believe, still under 20 years of age. And he looked very happy with his results in that race. So the SUPERSIDE sprint race is completed. Of course, on Sunday, race 2 will be slightly longer, slightly more of a test for all of our drivers and passengers. We will be looking to go to interviews.
Man. What happened? Well, it started in Austria.
Yeah, obviously, we see Crow here, so... Yeah.
Well, from there on, we had to make a decision, and Tom's injuries were for sure too bad to come here. And he pushed me to speak to Callum, and I rang Callum up, and he never wavered. He said, yeah, I can do that, and what a job he's just done. It is incredible. First time he's ever ridden with anyone else. First time at Assen. First time on a World Championship podium, so good lad.
Wow, this is really impressive. So, how was it for you?
Yeah, it's definitely an eye-opener. It's a lot different to what I'm used to, but I can't thank Ben enough for the opportunity, and what a pleasure it is to ride with a world champion.
Thank you, guys. It was impressive, and yeah, we will see you a nice race tomorrow. Thank you so much. Yeah, big applause, definitely, for all the guys. Tim. So, yeah, a little hard ride, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was good, wasn't it? It was just when everyone's that close, I made a silly mistake. Well, I didn't make a mistake. I just missed a gear, and that was enough. I felt comfortably in front, and yeah, never mind. One gear change, and that's all it takes. But when we're all that close, it's you know, what can you say? There's 6, 7 guys now that are absolutely on the pipe, and I really enjoyed it. It was great fun, and well done to Todd and Manu, and we'll try again tomorrow.
Thank you. We will hopefully see a nice race tomorrow in the long one. Thank you. Cheers, guys. So, and I need my winners here. Emmanuel, Todd. So you two, you did it again, and now you took the championship. So have you thought about it?
No, not at all. It's just a case of just keep finishing, keep plugging away, and doing the best we can with it. So, yeah, fantastic race. It's that close and that at the minute. We unfortunately had a bit of rubbing, but yeah, nothing an apology can't fix. So I followed him round and made sure I saved my back tyre, even with the short races, and just picked my movement. But yeah, it's that close. One missed gear is all it takes.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, guys, and now see you on the podium.
There you go. It was a missed gear for Tim Reeves, rather
guys,
suspected based on that
with our
lack of acceleration.
World Championship award ceremony, and this starts with the 3rd place with the number 16 from the Wickham Blackwell by Birchall Racing Team, Birchall Crow. Followed by number 77 in a close race from the Bonovo Action Team, Reeves and Wilkes. And the winner of this first short race here with the number 6 is the team Ellis Clement. Ellis Clement. And for sure, we start with our prize givings to the 3rd one, from the FIM jury member Anne Mielke to our 3rd place here, Birchall Crow. To the 2nd place, Reeves Wilkes. And the biggest trophy on this first short race are taken away with 25 points, Ellis Clement. And for sure, to honor the winners, we hear the national anthem.
And echo the celebrations then. A massive congratulations to our new championship leaders, Todd Ellis and Emmanuel Clement, for the first time. Championship leaders this season, the reigning champions, now in the prime position to defend, and a huge nod as well to Callum Crowe. What an achievement on his first appearance in the World Championship, his first time at Assen, taking that podium. And a pat on the back and a well done from Ben Birchall will go a long way in this industry. Of that, I am certain. Brilliant racing once again from the TT Circuit Assen. And fear not, we do it all again tomorrow. More FIM SUPERSIDE Sidecar World Championship here tomorrow.